Your pain is the most powerful weapon you'll ever own. And most people are too scared to weaponize it. They'd rather sit in their comfort, drowning in mediocrity, letting their potential rot like an unused muscle. Every tear you've cried, every moment of despair, every crushing disappointment is not a weakness. It's raw, unrefined power waiting to be transformed. The world doesn't want you to know this, because when you realize your suffering can be your greatest strength, you become unstoppable. Society thrives on keeping you broken, keeping you small, keeping you believing that your struggles define you. But what if I told you that your deepest wounds are actually the exact blueprint for your most extraordinary transformation? The moment you realize your potential is the moment everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Silence has a weight that crushes dreams. It suffocates potential. And tonight, we're going to break that silence with a truth so powerful it will shake the very foundation of your existence. Imagine standing at the edge of your own possibility. Feel the terror of staying exactly where you are, that grinding sensation in your gut that whispers you're capable of so much more, yet something holds you back. An invisible force of fear, doubt, and endless excuses. Let me tell you something profound that will resonate in the deepest corners of your soul. The greatest loss in life isn't failure. It's never trying. It's watching your potential evaporate like morning mist, leaving nothing but regret as a companion. Think about the dreams you've buried, the passions you've silenced, the risks you've avoided. Each one is a small death, a surrender, a moment where you chose comfort over growth, safety over possibility. What would happen if you became the person who terrifies your own limitations? What if you transformed your pain into an unstoppable force of nature? What if every setback became a setup for the most extraordinary comeback of your life? Success isn't a complicated algorithm. It's a decision, a commitment, a radical act of believing yourself when every voice around you suggests otherwise. Success is choosing to grow even when growth feels like walking through fire. Even when it means walking alone. Even when it means confronting the darkest, most terrifying parts of yourself. Consider the journey of transformation. It's never a straight line. It's a wild, unpredictable path full of unexpected turns. Some days you'll feel like you're climbing a mountain with bare hands, fingernails bleeding, spirit barely holding on. Other days you'll slide back down, covered in dirt, doubt, and disappointment. But here's the secret that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Every slide is a lesson. Every struggle is a teacher. Your potential doesn't have an expiration date, but your excuses do. We live in a world designed to contain you. Institutions build elaborate narratives of limitation. Societal norms create invisible walls. The system wants you comfortable, predictable, manageable. But true power emerges when you recognize these are nothing more than illusions. Ask yourself the questions that will change everything. What stories have you internalized that limit your growth? What beliefs have you accepted without questioning? What narratives have you allowed to define your boundaries? The most dangerous phrase in any language is "I can't." Those two words are dream killers, potential destroyers. They transform vibrant human beings into shadows of what they could become. Every breakthrough in human history started with someone refusing to accept the current reality. Every moment of true transformation came from individuals who dared to challenge the impossible. They weren't superhuman. They were simply courageous enough to believe in themselves when no one else would. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Nothing ever transforms. Nothing ever becomes extraordinary. Growth demands a specific kind of courage, not the Hollywood version with dramatic music and heroic poses, but the quiet, persistent courage of showing up, of trying again, of refusing to be defined by your past mistakes. Think about the most transformative moments in your life. They weren't comfortable. They were challenging, painful, disorienting, but they changed everything. These moments revealed strengths you didn't know you possessed. Pain is not your enemy. Stagnation is. When you're uncomfortable, you're expanding. When you're struggling, you're growing. When you're doubting, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. These are not just motivational phrases. These are fundamental truths of human potential. Look at the natural world. A seed doesn't become a forest overnight. It endures darkness, pressure, uncertainty, but it keeps pushing. It doesn't question its ability to become something magnificent. It simply grows. You are that seed. Your potential is not determined by your circumstances. It's determined by your response to those circumstances, by your willingness to learn, to adapt, to persist. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're writing a new story. Every time you face a fear, you're expanding your capacity. Every time you take a risk, you're proving to yourself that you are more powerful than your doubts. But here's the harsh truth that will separate those who merely exist from those who truly live. No one is coming to save you. No magical moment will transform your life. No external force will manifest your dreams. That responsibility rests entirely with you. The universe responds to decisiveness, not to wishes, not to hopes, but to committed action. Your dreams are not random. They are a calling, a blueprint of your potential. Ignore them because the pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. What will you choose? Mediocrity is a slow, insidious poison that doesn't kill you immediately. It erodes your spirit gradually, one compromise at a time, one rationalization after another. Look around you. How many people do you know are living half lives, existing instead of truly living, settling for acceptable when extraordinary is within reach? They've traded their dreams for security, their passion for predictability, their potential for a paycheck. But you are different. You're here because something inside you refuses to be contained. Something within you knows there's more to life than this endless cycle of survival. Let's dissect the monster that keeps most people trapped. Fear. Fear is not just an emotion. It's a comprehensive system of self-sabotage. It disguises itself as protection. It masquerades as wisdom. It presents itself as practical thinking. But fear is nothing more than a story you tell yourself about why you can't do something. Every significant achievement in human history was preceded by fear. Every breakthrough came from individuals who felt terror but moved forward anyway. Fear is not the opposite of courage. Fear is the prerequisite of courage. When you learn to dance with your fear instead of fighting it, magic happens. Consider the nature of human potential. We are not fixed beings locked into a predetermined path. We are dynamic, fluid, capable of incredible transformation. Your abilities are not carved in stone. They are malleable, expandable, infinitely renewable. But potential without action is just potential. It's a seed that never breaks through the soil, a song that's never sung, a book that's never written. Action is the bridge between possibility and reality. Most people live their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity. They believe some magical alignment of circumstances will suddenly make their dreams possible. Here's a brutal truth. Perfection is a myth. It's a trap designed to keep you immobile. The most successful people don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They don't ask for permission. They move forward with a confidence that comes from committed action. Your greatest competition is not external. It's the voice inside your head that tells you that you're not enough, that you don't deserve success, that your dreams are too big, too audacious. Reject that voice with every fiber of your being. Every time you step into uncertainty, you expand your comfort zone. Every time you take a risk, you build confidence. Every time you fail, you learn. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a component of success. Think about the most transformative technologies, the most revolutionary ideas. They didn't emerge from perfection. They emerged from persistent experimentation, from individuals willing to be wrong, willing to look foolish, willing to challenge the status quo. Innovation is born from the willingness to look stupid. But here's what most people miss. Growth is not about grand, dramatic moments. It's about small, consistent actions, the daily choice to show up, to try, to learn, to improve by one every single day. Consistency is the language of commitment. Your habits are the architects of your future. What you do repeatedly shapes your identity, your beliefs, your outcomes. Every single day, you are either moving towards your potential or away from it. There are no neutral actions. The most powerful question you can ask yourself is not, what do I want? But what am I willing to sacrifice to get what I want? Success demands sacrifice, not just talent, not just hard work, but a willingness to let go of who you are to become who you are meant to be. Comfort is the enemy of growth. The moment you become comfortable is the moment you start dying. Your potential is a fire, and some people are so afraid of burning bright that they'd rather stay dim. Don't be that person. Be the one who burns so bright that your light becomes a beacon for others. Be the one who refuses to be contained, who turns limitations into launching pads. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs more creators, more risk takers, more individuals willing to challenge the narrative of limitation. Your life is not happening to you. It's happening because of you. Every single decision, Every moment, every breath is an opportunity to rewrite your story. What story will you choose to tell? Are you going to be a passive character in someone else's narrative, or the author of your own extraordinary journey? The choice is yours, right here, right now. And the world is waiting. Let's confront the most dangerous addiction in human existence. It's not drugs, it's not alcohol, it's comfort. Comfort is a psychological trap that masquerades as safety. It whispers sweet lies about stability. It creates an illusion of security while systematically destroying your potential. It's a slow-acting poison that numbs your dreams, one compromise at a time. Most people live their entire lives in a state of controlled mediocrity. They've negotiated with their dreams, reduced their aspirations to something manageable, something safe, something that doesn't require too much risk or vulnerability. But life is not about survival. It's about emergence. It's about becoming something more than you were. Think about the natural world. A river doesn't negotiate with rocks. It doesn't ask permission to flow. It simply moves, adapts, finds a way. Sometimes it crashes. Sometimes it erodes. But it never stops. You are that river. Your potential is not a destination. It's a continuous journey of becoming, of expanding, of challenging every limitation you've ever imposed on yourself. Most people are trapped in a cycle of reactive living. They respond, they adapt, they survive, but they never truly live. Proactive living is the ultimate act of rebellion. It means taking full responsibility for your life, not as a burden, but as an extraordinary opportunity, an invitation to create something remarkable. Consider the concept of personal power. It's not about controlling external circumstances. It's about controlling your response to those circumstances. Your attitude, your perspective, your willingness to learn and grow. Every challenge is a disguised opportunity. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. But here's the harsh truth that will separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. Opportunity doesn't tap you on the shoulder. It doesn't send a polite invitation. It rushes past you constantly. And most people are too busy being comfortable to even notice. Your greatest enemy is not failure. It's indifference. The human spirit is not designed for passive existence. We are designed for challenge, for growth, for pushing beyond known boundaries. Look at the most significant breakthroughs in human history. They didn't come from people seeking comfort. They came from individuals willing to be uncomfortable, willing to challenge the impossible. Every great achievement begins with the courage to look stupid, to try something that makes no sense to anyone else. Innovation is born from the willingness to look foolish. But vulnerability is not weakness. It's the most accurate measurement of courage. To be vulnerable means to be willing to be seen, to risk, to acknowledge that you don't have all the answers, that you're in a constant state of learning. Most people protect themselves. They build emotional walls. They create narratives of self-protection. But these walls don't just keep pain out. They keep everything out, including growth, including love, including possibility. Your protection is your prison. Think about the moments that truly defined you. They weren't comfortable. They were challenging, painful, disorienting, but they revealed strengths you didn't know you possessed. Pain is not your enemy. Stagnation is. When you're uncomfortable, you're expanding. When you're struggling, you're growing. When you're doubting, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. But growth is not a linear process. It's messy, chaotic, unpredictable. Some days you'll feel like you're climbing a mountain with bare hands. Other days, you'll slide back down covered in dirt and doubt. But every slide is a lesson. Every struggle is a teacher. The most powerful words in human language are not "I know." They are "I'm learning." Humility is the gateway to growth. Your ego is not your amigo. It's the voice that tells you that you already know everything, that you don't need to change, that you're perfect just the way you are. But true growth requires a willingness to be wrong, to be incomplete, to be a perpetual student of life. The world doesn't need more experts. It needs more learners, more individuals willing to approach life with curiosity instead of certainty. Your potential is not determined by your circumstances. It's determined by your response to those circumstances. What will you choose? Will you be a prisoner of your past or an architect of your future? The moment you decide to grow is the moment you start living. Not existing and not surviving, but truly profoundly living. There's a profound difference between existing and living that most people never understand. Existing is a biological function. Breathing, consuming, surviving. Living is a conscious choice that requires courage, intention, and an unwavering commitment to your own potential. Look around you. How many people do you see truly living? Not just moving through their days, but experiencing life with passion, purpose, and unbridled enthusiasm. Most are shadows, ghosts walking through predetermined paths, trapped in invisible cages of their own making. Your life is not a passive experience to be endured. It's an active journey to be created. Every single moment is an invitation to redefine yourself, to challenge the limitations you've accepted, to step into a version of yourself that currently exists only in your most daring imagination. But here's the brutal truth that will shake the foundation of your existence. No magical external force will transform your life. No one is coming to save you. No circumstance will suddenly align to make your dreams possible. Their responsibility rests entirely with you. The universe doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to committed, intentional action. Let's talk about personal energy. Your most valuable and most misunderstood resource. Most people leak their potential through constant negativity, through endless complaints, through focusing on what's wrong instead of what's possible. They spend their energy like a drunk sailor spends money, carelessly without consideration of the long-term consequences. Imagine your energy is a finite bank account. Every complaint is a withdrawal. Every moment of self-doubt is a tax. Every hour spent in negativity is a massive overdraft that bankrupts your potential. What if you treated your energy like the precious resource it is? Would you be so quick to waste it on things that don't serve your growth? Success is not about working harder. It's about managing your energy more intelligently. The most successful individuals are not those who do more. They are those who eliminate what doesn't matter, who create space for what truly counts, who understand that productivity is not about constant motion, but about strategic action. Most people suffer from a disease of busyness. They confuse movement with progress, activity with achievement. They fill their lives with noise to avoid the silence where true transformation happens. Silence is where your potential speaks. In a world of constant distraction, the ability to focus is your ultimate superpower. But focus is not something you have, it's something you create. A muscle that gets stronger with intentional training. Your attention is the most powerful creative force you possess. What you focus on expands. What you ignore diminishes. Most people are reactive. They respond to external stimuli, emails, notifications, other people's emergencies. They become slaves to their inbox, prisoners of other people's priorities. Truly successful individuals are proactive. They create their day, they design their environment, they understand a fundamental truth. Environment is stronger than willpower. Your environment will always win. If you want to change your life, change your environment. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who refuse to let you settle for less than your potential. The people you spend time with are the people you become. Look around you. Are the relationships in your life expanding your potential? Or are they reinforcing your limit? Relationships are not neutral. They are either supporting your growth or constraining your possibilities. Choose wisely. Connection is not about quantity, it's about quality. One truly supportive relationship is worth more than 100 superficial interactions. Your network is your net worth. But networking is not about collecting business cards. It's about genuine connection, about understanding, about creating value for others. The most powerful network is built on generosity, on a willingness to give without expecting immediate return. Success is not a solo journey. It's a collaborative adventure, but collaboration requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to be seen, to admit what you don't know, to ask for help. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the most accurate measurement of courage. Most people build walls, emotional barriers designed to protect themselves from pain. But these walls don't just keep pain out. They keep everything out, including growth, including love, including possibility. Your protection is your prison. Think about the moments that truly defined you. They weren't comfortable. They were challenging, painful, disorienting, but they revealed strengths you didn't know you possessed. Pain is not your enemy. Stagnation is when you're uncomfortable, you're expanding. When you're struggling, you're growing. When you're doubting, you're on the verge of a breakthrough. But growth is not a linear process. It's messy, chaotic, unpredictable. Some days you'll feel like you're climbing a mountain with bare hands. Other days you'll slide back down, covered in dirt and doubt. But every slide is a lesson. Every struggle is a teacher. The most powerful words in human language are not, I know. They are, I'm learning. Humility is the gateway to growth. Your ego is not your friend. It's the voice that tells you that you already know everything, that you don't need to change, that you're perfect just the way you are. But true growth requires a willingness to be wrong, to be incomplete, to be a perpetual student. The world doesn't need more experts. It needs more learners, more individuals willing to approach life with curiosity instead of certainty. Your potential is not determined by your circumstances. It's determined by your response to those circumstances. What will you choose? Will you be a victim of your past or an architect of your future? The moment you decide to grow is the moment you start living, not existing, and not surviving, but truly profoundly living. Are you ready to write your most extraordinary chapter? We've arrived at the most critical moment of your journey, the crossroads where everything changes. Most people talk about transformation. They read books, they attend seminars, they collect motivational quotes, but transformation is not something you collect. It's something you execute. Execution is the difference between dreamers and doers. Your dreams are not a destination. They are a daily practice, a commitment you renew with every breath, every decision, every single moment. Consider the nature of true change. It's not dramatic. It's not a sudden explosion of willpower. It's a series of small, seemingly insignificant choices that compound over time. Imagine a river carving through solid rock. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens through persistent, consistent action. Drop by drop, moment by moment. You are that river. Your potential is not waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be developed. Most people are paralyzed by the magnitude of their dreams. They look at the mountain and convince themselves it's impossible to climb. But mountains are climbed one step at a time. What step will you take today? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The most dangerous lie you've been told is that transformation requires perfection, that you must have everything figured out before you begin. That's nonsense. Begin messy. Begin imperfectly. Begin with whatever you have right now. Your first attempt doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be started. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your compass. It points exactly where you need to go. The things that terrify you the most are precisely the things that will set you free. Most people run from fear. Successful people run towards it. Every time you feel fear, you're standing at the edge of growth. That sensation in your stomach, that's not a warning to stop. It's an invitation to expand. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Think about the moments that truly defined you. They weren't comfortable. They were challenging, painful, disorienting, but they revealed strengths you didn't know you possessed. You are so much stronger than the story you've been telling yourself. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs more creators, more risk takers, more individuals willing to challenge the narrative of limitation. Your life is not happening to you. It's happening because of you. Every single decision creates your reality. Every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Success is not about grand gestures. It's about consistent intentional action. What are you consistently doing? What habits are you reinforcing? What story are you telling yourself? Your habits are the architects of your future. What you do repeatedly shapes your identity, your beliefs, your outcomes. There are no neutral actions. The most powerful question you can ask is not, what do I want? But what am I willing to sacrifice to get what I want? Success demands sacrifice, not just talent, not just hard work, but a willingness to let go of who you are to become who you are meant to be. Your potential is a fire. And some people are so afraid of burning bright that they'd rather stay dim. Don't be that person. Be the one who burns so bright that your light becomes a beacon for others. Be the one who refuses to be contained, who turns limitations into launching pads. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. The world is waiting. Your potential is calling. The only question is, will you answer? This is the moment of the culmination of everything we've discussed, the point where philosophy becomes action, where words transform into power. You stand at the edge of possibility, not as a spectator, not as a dreamer, but as a creator of your own destiny. The journey of transformation is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you truly are, stripping away the layers of doubt, the accumulated fears, the limitations you've collected like unnecessary baggage. Your potential is not something external. It's not waiting to be found. It's waiting to be unleashed. Think about the most powerful force in the universe. It's not technology. It's not money. It's human potential when it's fully committed. Commitment is not a feeling. It's a decision that you make every single moment. A decision to show up, to try, to grow, to refuse being anything less than your most extraordinary self. The world doesn't need more average. The world needs your unique genius, your specific magic, the contribution only you can make. Most people live their entire lives as echoes, repeating what others have done, following paths already carved. But you're here to be the source, the origin, the creator. Your biggest competition is not external. It's the voice inside your head that tells you that you're not enough. Reject that voice. Your struggles into strength. You are not defined by your past. You are created by your present actions and your vision of the future. The most dangerous words in any language are, "I'll do it tomorrow." Tomorrow is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of change today. Your life is happening now, this moment, right here. What will you do with it? Will you continue to play small? Will you continue to hide? Will you continue to make excuses? Or will you rise?